Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna end it with this. Since our last interview, I did a long sit down with Rodney Jerkins, aka Darkchild, one of the greatest producers, really ever.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did he sell over 1 billion albums, with hits from pretty much everyone, from Destiny's Child to Whitney Houston to Sam Smith to everyone. But he actually was the primary producer for Michael Jackson's last album. And, he just talked about all the times that they spent together.
Michael invites me to his townhouse up in Manhattan one day, right? And we were probably like 80% done working at this point on his project. And he says, Rod, I need you to come up. So I go over there for the first time. And no, this was the second time, because the first time we played pool. We used to play pool and bet each other. And so this is the second time.
Wait, how much would Michael Jackson bet in pool?
Well, he beat me, man. The first time he beat me, we bet DVDs.
Okay.
So, and the funny thing is, he wouldn't let me we went to Times Square like that night at like 11:30 at night. We went to Times Square because he wanted the DVDs that he won. He beat me, and so I had to buy the DVDs that night. But the funny thing is like the next time we went over to his house, sitting there and we just talking really about nothing. It was just like, yo, we just kicking it. And then I went to use the restroom, and I saw a note he wrote in the restroom saying, talk to Rodney about his publishing. So I'm like, yo, This is why I'm here. So then I come back and he goes, so I want to talk to you about something. He goes, I want to talk to you about your publishing and see if you're interested in selling it to me.
He wanted to buy your publishing.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, he said that really probably felt like he was dead for his last 10 years, because you have this guy that gave so much and put everything into his art and became the biggest, entertainer of all time. And everyone is like, oh, we love Michael Jackson, but you and I are old enough to remember the last 10 years of Michael Jackson, he was not celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
He was Wacko Jacko.
Right.
He was the guy with all the weird plastic surgery. He was the guy that was bleaching his skin white, whether he had vitiligo or not. And after he passed, the Leaving Neverland documentary came out.
Yeah.
And the guys who were featured in it sued him, but just recently the lawsuit was dismissed, which I think was pretty dope. I think you shouldn't even be able to sue a dead person.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Yeah, that's that whole scenario. I don't know, much to speak about it. Just kind of that's a sticky one. That entire.
It is a sticky one because he had no business being around those kids. Mm-hmm. Point blank, period.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after the allegation started, at the first glimmer of it, like, okay, cool, all right, I'm done.
Well, yeah, but that whole thing, man, talking about enabling and someone creating their own thing with no, that's so dangerous. I mean, here's the most famous person who, I would say Michael Jackson was the most famous person who ever lived. Because, I mean, I would say, like, hey, you say Jesus Christ, but there's a Muslim population and youngsters who didn't know who he was. But from Michael Jackson, from 5 to 95, you knew who this guy was anywhere on the planet. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody has ever been that famous. And therefore, no one is going to be more sequestered than him. But it's like, when I would look at like some things that just to me that rang just absolutely delusional of, I only had one nose job.
Right.
These are my children. You're darker than me, dude. You're dark. People forget. Michael Jackson is darker than me with Negroid features. That's what he really looks like. He doesn't. So if Eddie Murphy said, this blonde hair, blue eyed child is mine, how would people react? If someone
on top of that,
you know what I mean?
His brothers, I believe all of them have children with white women, or the majority of them have children with white women.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids all look mixed.
Right.
They all look black.
Yeah. So
why the hell is it Mike's, even if the mother
to have three
and none of them look at all black.
Right. So it's like if you're saying, oh yeah, my child came out, he looks just like Tito and he reminded me like no. There's a delusion that this is sad. This got nothing to do with reality.
Especially when you say, I have all this level of talent in my DNA,
mm-hmm.
right? Not to say that everything gets passed down to your children,
mm-hmm.
right? Because obviously you see that that's not true.
Right.
You look at the world of entertainment or sports, Kobe's dad was a great basketball player, but I'm sure, I know for a fact the majority of basketball players have kids that can't play for shit, right? But here you are, you have this, almost alien level of talent. Why would you not want to at least have the potential to pass that down to your children? You know what I'm saying? You literally are taking the sperm from a completely different man and creating children that have no genetic, there's nothing genetically attached to these children from you at all.
Bro,
at all.
The theme from this interview, I feel if you have power, if you have an excuse to say what you want in your heart or whatever delusion that you want, you will jump on that excuse. He wants to say that this is his child, and the world, it's like the emperor's new clothes.
Right.
The people, the sycophants around you they're gonna enable you to create whatever world you want. Tupac, Michael Jackson, Yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah, because if we want to believe that's his children, we do that. Yes, that's his beautiful child. That's his child. You're not thinking, what does this guy really look like? He doesn't look like, he's not, whatever color that he is.
Right.
That's not his regular color. So
right. Plastic surgery is not passed down to your children.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like, okay, but you tell a Michael Jackson fan this, they don't want to hear it because.
Oh yeah, I've gotten into it. Yeah. I've trolled Michael Jackson a few times.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, I remember I put up a picture of Michael Jackson, Pretty Young Thing, and I said, does this album cover ring a little different after leaving Neverland? And people are like, oh, fuck you, Vlad, I hate you.
It's interesting in this world.
His own nephew started arguing with me. It was ridiculous. I was just joking. Come on, get over it.
They rather believe the fantasy of something than okay. I have these friends. Guess what? They're not real friends. They're Facebook friends. But you're using the word friends, and somewhere in your psyche, you've got a bunch of friends. They're imaginary friends. They're not your real friends. But it's been more important for people to create this illusion, the world that they want to believe. And it's like, whoa, okay, bless you. It's not good for the psyche. It's just not good. Whether we talk about, just like I say, this theme, where a lot of people are creating this alternate reality. They basically are falling for the banana and tailpipe.
Right.
And letting their friends or whatever, the people who worship them, kind of help them create that world. Like I was talking about before, my own mom wouldn't correct me when she didn't know I was messing with her when I said I was getting rid of hitchhikers under my house, she still was like, "Oh, that's good." I'm like, "You're not listening to me." I did the experiment on that where I watched the people around me change because I connected them to a world that they didn't have a connection to before. So now in their little motor pool or around the water cooler, people say, "Hey, what's Mike up to?" "Oh, he's doing another movie." "Hey, that's Mike." It's what it made their world a little bit bigger. But it can help color the world that I want. If I wanted to like go off, if I wanted to think I'm better than someone else or whatever and create this alternate world and have I'm walking around in Kung Fu uniforms all the time. You know what I mean? Like Bruce Leroy. Everybody's going to enable me to do it. I just need to, hopefully, luckily, I didn't come up with that. It came up with going, "Hey, man, I'm just doing a job. It's a great job. It's a wonderful job. But I'm an entertainer. I'm here to serve you. We're all servants, right? You're a servant. I'm a servant.
Mm-hmm.
This thing serves a need for people.
Yeah.
And thank goodness for that. And somebody who says, "Oh, well, I like what Mike said." If they identify with me, well, there's something that they're gaining from it. And I'm gaining because this is what I was put on the earth to do, to serve. I've been put on earth. I always say like the two important, I borrow this quote, but the two most important days in your life is the day you were born and the day you find out why, And so, hey, I found out why, what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing right now, in this industry. To think that I'm better than somebody is ridiculous. I'm serving you, I'm a servant.
Yeah.
I'm an entertainer, and that's what I'm supposed to do. But I'm blessed to know that, and that's just the truth of it, I'm happy to have found that out.
That's how we're going to end it.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jai White, always a pleasure, man.
My
and
pleasure,
an honor.
bro.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us again. And you're going to see Michael a lot more on the show in the months to come.
Yeah.
And, man, listen, appreciate everything, man. Appreciate you coming back. And, best of luck with everything you're doing. I know you have a bunch of movies in the works.
Yeah, I got 7.
7 movies in the works.
7 movies in the works, yeah. That's in the can.
In the can, a 30-year
Yes,
career. Like I recently interviewed Leon, who has a 40-year career.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird when you think about these people you grew up watching and they're still doing it.
Yeah.
Like yourself, 30 years in, 7 movies in the can, producing, got your own film company. Can't wait to see the full version of Outlaw Johnny Black. That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Yes, sir. Me too.
Until next time.
All right.
Peace.